Hey, so welcome to the channel. Today we're going to look at your first driving lesson, what to expect on your first driving lesson in a manual car. We're going to be using this car here over my shoulder, and we're going to look at getting the car moving, going to look at some of the basic controls. We're going to basically just try and recreate that first driving lesson experience for you in a short video, of course, and show you what to expect, put those nerves at rest. We all worry about stalling the car, don't we, on our first driving lesson. I'm going to give you a tip on how to get the car moving without stalling. So this Mini here is supplied to me by the company that my wife and I work for. You can see our website on the back there, and more details about that company in the description if you're interested in earning some extra money in your spare time. That's what we do. So let's waste no further time. Let's get the car moving. Let's see what we're going to do inside the car. Right then, so welcome to the inside of this Mini. So you can see it's just a basic Mini one that we're using here for the driving lesson today. It is a manual car. We have a gear stick, we have a manual select gear stick, so we're going to be using that. We're going to be using a clutch pedal as well because it's a manual. We've got a video also on this channel, I'll link it above, on what to expect on your first driving lesson in an automatic car. This one is a manual, so it'll be quite different. So first of all then, let's have a look at some of the controls that you may be using on your driving test. So you've got your mirrors either side there. So this is the driver's eye perspective. We have an adjuster down here for adjusting the mirrors so that we can see a bit of the car in the mirrors there and a nice view down the road. Your instructor will carry out some basic checks there with you. You need to get the seat set so that you are comfortable, you can reach the pedals comfortably, and we're going to come to the pedals in a minute when we get the car moving. Which pedals which, very easy to remember, so don't worry about that. And your instructor is also going to work through some of the other controls in the car. We've got obviously our indicators, we've got windscreen wipers, we've even got lights which we may or may not need to switch on. So that'll all come down to you and your instructor. They're going to go over that. I'm not going to waste your time here today on that. You're here to see how we get the car moving, I'm believing. So let's have a quick look at some of the controls for that. So we'll come to the pedals shortly, but we've got over here a gear stick, so we can use the gear stick to select the gears. So I'm just going to put the clutch pedal down. So if we go hard over to the left and forward, that's gear number 1, there's gear number 2. Now the real trick for getting from gear number 2 to gear number 3 is to push the gear stick forward, and notice how the spring moves it over. So it's now between 3 and 4 for us, so straight forward for 3, straight back for 4. We've also got another spring in this gearbox. We've got 5 and 6 available as well, but we're not going to worry about those today. So we're just going to be using gear number 1. So this is the same in all cars. Just push left and forwards for gear 1 and pull it back for gear 2. Remembering there's a spring there, so if we don't push left as we're doing that, we will let the gear stick move across between 3 and 4. So hard left, forwards, there's gear number 1. So we're going to be using that. And we've got a parking brake here. So I'm just going to put my foot on the foot brake so we don't roll anywhere. The parking brake is in its secured position. This brakes just the back wheels for us, not the front wheels, so it just secures the back wheels. So to release it, we've got a button on the front here. We simply push the button. We pull it up a little as we're pushing the button in, so that lets me push the button all the way in, and then I can put it all the way down. That's the parking brake or the handbrake off. So there's nothing holding the car. I've got my foot on the foot brake so we don't roll anywhere by mistake, but that's what we use to secure the car. That's why we call it the parking brake, so we tend to put it on when we park. Notice when I put it on there, I pushed the button in as I pulled it up and then released the button at the top. That's the preferred way of doing it. Of course, you can just run this. There's a ratchet inside here. You can just run it up the ratchet. That does tend to wear the ratchet off a little bit, but I know that some cars come with instruction manuals that tell you to run it up the ratchet as you're applying the parking brake or the handbrake, whichever way you want to describe it. So it's up to you. I personally keep the button pushed in as I secure the car. Right then, so that's the parking brake. We've got the gear stick, so let's move on. Let's get the car moving. I'll show you how we do that. Okay then, so we've talked about the basics inside the car. Now let's look at getting the car moving. So we've got the pedals on the floor here. So let's look at the pedals one by one. On the left there, we have the clutch pedal. Clutch pedal goes all the way down to the floor, all the way back up again. Nice and easy to move. On the right hand side, we have the gas pedal or accelerator pedal. Push that a little and the engine just revs up. And then also with the right foot, we have the brake pedal. Brake pedal pushes down about halfway-ish, and then it feels quite firm. It shouldn't go down all the way to the floor. That would be a bad sign. Get that looked at if it does. Okay, so they're the 3 pedals. Your right foot operates the brake. and the accelerator or the gas pedal, and you're either going to want to go slower or faster, neither both at the same time, so one or the other. So that's why your right foot just goes between those two, and then your clutch. You're going to be using your clutch pedal to change gear. That's going to be when you're going faster, when you're going slower. So your left foot just does the clutch pedal there. That's all your left foot does, is use the clutch pedal. Okay then, so your instructor will get you familiar with those pedals, and they become really easy to use. You don't need to look for them or look at them. You just kind of go, you're going to work out where they are and know where they are and how to use them. Right then, so let's skip straight ahead to getting the car moving. There is a lot more to getting the car moving. There's your mirror checks, your blind spot checks and such like. I'm just going to let your instructor work on those with you. I'm just going to look at getting the car moving with you. So I'm going to put the clutch pedal down to the floor, put the car into first gear. Right then, so the car's in first gear, so now I can't just lift the clutch pedal all the way up to the top. It will stall the engine. Is what I need to do is lift it up until I feel the biting point, which is just there in this particular car. If I lift it up further, then I get more of a biting point, a stronger biting point. The car's wanting to go forwards. You can hear the engine struggling a little. I'm just going to push it down a little bit because I don't want to be burning my clutch out. Just a little biting point there. It's absolutely fine, and I can use a little bit of gas with my right foot there. Okay then, so to get the car moving, we are going to obviously make some checks and make sure it's safe, and your instructor will help you with those. But basically, because I've got the biting point, the car's poised and ready to go. I'm just going to let the handbrake off, and because it's all safe, the handbrake's now off and the car's just creeping forwards a bit, just on the biting point. I'm just going to put a little bit more gas in there. I'm just going to bring the biting point up just a little bit higher, and then gently all the way up to the top. And then I'm just going to put the clutch back down again and push the brake, and that just brings me back to a stop again. Okay, so let's recap on that. Is what we did is we used the biting point to get the car moving with a little bit of gas to back it up, and then to bring the car to a stop, we pushed the clutch all the way back down to the floor, and we used the brake pedal to bring the car to a stop, to slow us down and to slow it down right down to a stop. Because we had the clutch all the way to the floor, we could push the brake and bring the car to a stop without stalling the engine. Now the car's in neutral, I can take my foot off of the clutch as I've already done there, without any biting point in the way. Okay, let's repeat that for you just to make it clear. So I've got the clutch down, the car's now in first gear, so now I can't lift my foot all the way off the clutch pedal without either stalling the engine or moving the car. So because the car's in gear, so I'm going to bring the clutch up to the biting point, and I'm just going to use a little bit of gas, and then I'm just going to look around and make sure it's safe. And we've got vehicles in front, we've got nothing behind, so I'm going to let the handbrake off, and I'm just going to bring the clutch up just a little bit more again, same as we did before. So the car's now moving, and then the clutch all the way up to the top. And then to bring the car to a stop again, clutch all the way back down to the floor, and I'm just going to use the brake to slow us down, and then foot on the brake to stop us. Right then, feet on both of those pedals there, I'm not going to leave those. I'm just going to put the car into neutral, and then I can take my foot off the clutch. Handbrake's now on, so I can take my foot off the foot brake. So the car's now secure, and it's not going to roll anywhere, and because it's in neutral, it's not going to drive anywhere. Right then, okay, so getting the car moving then. Really important thing there is that we use the clutch pedal on the biting point. Did you notice how we got the car moving before we brought the clutch all the way up to the top? That's key, and if once you can get your head around that, you're going to find pulling away incredibly straightforward and easy. If you start bringing the clutch up too fast, too soon, that's when the car starts stalling when you're trying to pull away.